Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. Today's Batchery prompt. A group of mystics holds a friend's bachelor party in a pocket dimension. That's a story in itself. Take X number of mystics, give them different powers, maybe a few of them aren't human, and you put them in a bachelor party setting and throw in magic, flagrant magic, in a pocket dimension it's suited for those who know. If you don't believe and live magic, you don't belong here. It'll just mess you up. And that in itself, if you don't know what I'm talking about, those of you who understand who Terry Gilliam is, or who've seen Baron Munchausen, you know what I'm talking about. Just go there. Let your imagination go freaky wild. Do that. I mean, it could be a role playing game. It could be part of the backstory, like, there was this time I took your father his bachelor party. We ended up in three alternate dimensions, and then in the past, it took us like a century to get back home, and we barely made it for the wedding. It could be a story of something freaky that happened, and maybe an inciting event happened here. Like we pissed off the wrong person there. Oh, the Danteum, 9 levels of hell. Oh, best bachelor party ever. I mean, go with it if you want. Me, I would go weird with it. All right, you have a ooh, okay, you have a Hogwarts scenario. Only this Hogwarts is American, K through 12, elite. You have to be rich and talented to get in and stay in. They don't. You can't buy your way back in if you screw up. If you're once you're out, you're out. And when they graduate, they end up in the private sector or in politics or in the military. They go where the power is. If there's power, there's a mage behind the scenes helping things go wherever, and they can do whatever they want. So the reason the world's so messed up is you have mages clashing. There is no mages guild or certain rules. Da, da, da. You have cliques, of course, but it's constantly power against power clashing. That's why the world's so messed up. But if they were ever on the same page, they can make the world a utopia. But it'll never happen because where's the money in that? So they find somebody, they make their dreams come true, they do it discreetly, and they get paid. That's how it works. During the course of this weird process of education, okay, these friends who end up in this bachelor party, they come across the bastard. So, all right, they're in ninth grade, right? Ninth grade, you're like 13, 14 years old, something like that. In comes a guy in his 20s, like he's 24 years old. He's a cop. He just got out of cop school. And what happened was his daddy was a mage, legendary mage, billionaire. Had an affair, had this kid, puts the kid off to the side, sets some money aside, dies. The wife, she's also a mage, in the know, she contests the will. So the money gets held up and held up and held up, and by the time everything's settled, he's 24 years old. So someone approaches this cop and says, look, your biological father, because basically this kid was adopted, it's like, here's your biological father's name, here's what he did. Okay, there is such a thing as magic, we're going to explain it to you. You have a choice. There's a big bag of money or a chance to become a mage. A mage? There's no such thing as magic. So then they spend the next week proving it to him, and then once he's done drinking, because you would have to drink, I'm sure, like, I'll take the magic. Good choice. So they throw him in on the deep end, ninth grade, and like no preliminary training, whatever. They just give him like summer school prep, and they expect him to fail out, lose the money. Turns out the kid's a savant. This cop is good. Based on just, he learns magic. He learns like what everyone else would learn from like K through 8. He learns it from a couple of sympathetic and talented like tutors in 3 months. Blows their minds. He goes into the school, he excels. He would have been the valedictorian, but everyone's trying to kick him out. They bullied him so much that he went through out of spite. But just before graduation, when they would have to have acknowledged him, like he was supposed to be the valedictorian because he's the best, period. They wouldn't give it to him. It's like, okay, screw it. I drop out. The day before graduation, he drops out. And he goes back and He basically reapplies as a cop someplace else, and he's a cop in San Francisco. Whenever there are cases that pop up, he mutters a spell. Okay, who's the killer? Okay, boom. And then he backtracks the crime. Boom. He knows spells for all types of cases, and he uses it for good to solve cases, put bad guys away, protect people. If a cop is shot, he might mutter a healing spell and then stop it halfway through. So the person doesn't die, but they heal normally and slowly, and maybe, someone who should never walk again, wink, does manage to walk with the right rehab. Wow, it's a miracle. He does those things behind the scenes. He's very discreet, and he lives on a cop's salary. No wife, no kids. But he studies the occult, and he keeps his skills sharp. So when his bachelor party happens, a bunch of these snobby bastards get together, go off into a pocket dimension. It's a trap. They don't come out. Their friends go looking, but they're white-collar types. They don't know anything about combat magic or putting foot to tuchus. A few of them do, but they're not interested. They don't want to risk themselves. Like, hey, call the bastard. He'd do it. He's stupid like that. So they tell him, and okay, solves the case, or tries to. The edge here is he doesn't think like a wizard. He doesn't have the wizard brands and limitations and obvious markers. And yet folks know who he is in the mystical circles. Like, oh, the bastard. You're the bastard. Officer Bastard. He has some sort of funky title they gave him. And he is arguably one of the strongest mages on the planet. Even he doesn't know how strong he is. It's like the older he gets, the stronger he gets. That's what's spooky. And maybe this whole thing was a trap just for him. Who knows? That's a book, frankly. I just don't have the time to write it. So, one more thing. One other option. What if it was the fiancé? Like, these guys go into the pocket dimension, they don't come out. Maybe the fiancé is a perfectly normal woman, a trophy wife to be, but she's smarter than she looks. She's a total package. That's what attracts this mage to her. Normally mages marry mages or someone in the know, and he was going to tell her after the wedding, but never got around to it. Now she gets a crash course in magic because her man she loves disappears. And she goes through hell to get him back. And she asks the right questions. She's adaptive. She's quick on her feet. Boom, 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 and get some help, and they get it done. That's one way to do it. All right, prompts. How would you write them? Okay, that's a nice thing about prompts. 8 different people, 8 different prompts could tell 8 different stories. So don't limit yourself to just one angle, but just find the one that suits you. All right. I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. TalesUnlimited.net is the website where my books are. If you like how I think, maybe you like how I write. Have a look. Won't bite. And till next time.